Hey, Brian Manning here, Noah Dalzell alongside. Celtics rolled through the Knicks after a massive comeback by New York in the third quarter, brought down to 4 points into the fourth, and pushed the Celtics to respond to this massive Knicks rally, and Derrick White right in the middle of it, a massive three as well as an alley-oop pass to Kristaps Porzingis that helped boost the Celtics ahead by double digits and get back to dominant position over the Knicks that they've carried throughout the first three games. Hey, we'll talk about the Knicks later, but White rolling out of the break, his shots back, but also his overall effectiveness is back here. We've talked about it before. They can't afford to lack him probably more than any other player on the roster outside of Tatum.
Yeah, it's hard to rank them, but I do think that Derrick White's the stats show how important he is for this team. And when you go back to that December-January stretch, the one constant was that he wasn't playing up to his normal standards, and as such, the team wasn't. And when you look at last year, when he's not playing, they lose games at a lot higher clip than anybody else. And so he's critical to this team. And I thought that he shared something. You know, he's not the most outgoing guy with the media as far as just interviews and things. And yesterday he shared in practice that he kind of lost some of that joy earlier in the season. And I remember earlier in the year after a loss, he said this is the hardest stretch that the team's experienced since he's been there. And I was thinking, well, they were down 3-0 versus Miami. But I think on a personal level, he really was struggling. And so seeing him bounce back, you could just see that he's playing more free. 3 for 3 in the fourth quarter, big shots, clutch shots. You know, even though it's 10 minutes to go, those are big time shots. And those are the kinds of plays that have made him the winner that he's been this past couple seasons for Boston. And I do feel like he's fully back to himself after reaching a moment and a low that he attributed to Toronto, that famous Toronto loss. That was kind of his low. And if you look at it, that was the team's low too. So they kind of really do go as he goes.
Yeah, he talked about losing that joy at practice the other day.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was just go into the arena and I just didn't have the same amount of just joy, and my energy kind of affected it. And I think that's just when I'm at my best, is when I'm having fun and I'm just my energy's high and I'm just doing a lot of different things. So I think during that time when I wasn't playing well, and it kind of just all combined into probably a reason why I wasn't playing well. So just trying to come back and just be excited and do what I do best.
You just say to yourself, stop it, and regroup, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just knock it off.
When did you feel like it turned, that you were starting to have more fun again?
I don't know if there's an exact game. I just feel like the Toronto game probably was my lowest one. And just from that point on, I was just trying to make shots, miss shots as part of the game, but just trying to have that the right energy and the right mindset, and it's been better since then.
So my best explanation for him, we don't know why he lost it, but he got hurt in December or something like that. It was a foot sprain, and we went, because he was ruled out for the game that night. And when you hear foot sprain, guys have missed weeks, guys have missed as much as a month. And he came back after, I want to say, missing one more game after that. He was back almost immediately. And it wasn't right. He talked a couple of times that, I just got to play through it and I just got to go. So I think that probably initially flowed into some struggles that just persisted. And once you start shooting poorly, once you get into a slump, it's tough to get out of it. So it lasted almost a month for him. My best guess is that the physical just flowed into a kind of mental block for him, unless something was going on off the court.
Yeah, I think that's right. And honestly, if you look around just the other guys that have played through injuries, whether it's Tatum or Brown, they usually don't look as good when they're playing through injuries. We're happy that they're durable and that they're pushing through, but think about Tatum playing right after an ankle sprain. There's been so many moments where he sprains an ankle and the next game he's available, and it's but he's just not himself. So there was definitely an element to that with Derrick. I also think that it just compounded. He said that kind of yesterday, right? That he's coming in now worrying about it, and then it's kind of accumulating from there. And I thought Joe was really insightful in just kind of how he described that whole scene and just how that's an important part of the growing process too.
Yeah, and White, you see the playmaking, you see the timely shots. It feels like every time he needs to make a play for them, he does. The 3-point pass to Porzingis out of timeout after the Knicks pushed back a little bit early in the third, and then the massive answer to start the fourth. So White, critical in this game and always for the Celtics. You almost start to take it for granted a little bit, and then when he's not there or not himself, it's not the same Celtics team. But this is the team we watched last year. This is the team that White was a major component of pushing to the championship in a win over the Knicks here at TD Garden. Celtics off to Toronto. We'll have coverage of that here on CLNS Media and Celtics All Access, and talk about where the Knicks are going here in our next video. Doesn't look like they can stand with the Celtics, but do they have more in them than we think? Because that third quarter, we'll talk about that. For Noah Dalzell and Bobby Manning, we will talk to you on Tuesday.